Hi, I'm Kelly,
And I'm Rich.
and we're here to talk to you again with the National Community Transportation Rodeo of another edition of Rodeo Talk. Rich, today our subject is pre-trip inspection, which is one of the 4 areas of scoring for the national competition. What can you tell us about the pre-trip inspection?
Well, it's one of our stationary events, meaning the vehicles aren't moving. We have 5 vehicles that we use at a time at the pre-trip section, and we have 2 vehicles on each vehicle, working with each driver that comes up for the competition. And there's a total of 150 points that are available in the pre-trip inspection portion, and it takes 7 minutes, at least you're judged for your ability to get through the pre-trip inspection portion in 7 minutes. What else can we tell you about the pre-trip, Kelly?
Well, it is the section 4 of the 4 scoring areas, along with the driving competition,
Which we talked about last time.
yes, we did. Wheelchair competition, which,
We'll talk about next time.
and the third part is the written test.
And we'll give you a little bit of details on that just before the rodeo begins.
Very little details because we don't want any cheating.
That's true.
Not that anyone would.
Never happened.
What I can tell you is the vehicles, when you first see them on Sunday morning, the day of the competition, they will already have 4 pre-established defects on the vehicles. There will be 5 vehicles. Each of them will have the exact same defects. You will be given 7 minutes to perform the pre-trip inspection. During that time, you'll be verbalizing everything you see, and as well as being able to take actions on some things, like if you need to flip up a seat, if you need to look at wheelchair securement belts, things like that.
Kelly, what if judges or drivers find more than the 4 defects? What can they do about that?
Well, Rich, we've had that in the past where we've had a few vehicles that have come equipped with defects ahead of time, not that we scheduled them. If you find defects, call them out. Any defect you find, whether it was predetermined or came straight from the provider, you need to call it out.
So drivers will not be penalized for finding more than the 4. They just have to find the 4 that we preset.
That is correct. You could find 16 defects, though I doubt you will with these nice, beautiful vehicles that ABQ Ride will be providing. But yes, anything you deem as being a defect, you must verbalize that that is a defect.
And, Kelly, I know that we talk a lot, but is there a penalty for talking too much when you're verbalizing in the pre-trips inspection?
There can be a penalty in that if you don't verbalize properly, if you don't say that missing fire extinguisher is a defect, then it will not be recognized as a defect. If you just say, oh, well, the fire extinguisher's missing, but don't identify it as a defect, it'll be counted against.
So just be clear in what your intention is.
Exactly.
So as drivers going along verbalizing the items, are there any things that they have to turn on or check or move around, Kelly?
Well, as part of a proper pre-trip, you need to make sure that all the equipment is working properly, whether it's the defroster, the windshield wipers, turn signals, headlights, things like that, as part of your regular pre-trip inspection that you do at your facilities. We expect the same thing here, and we will provide a pre-trip inspection form if you need it. If you prefer to bring the one from your system, by all means, bring it. I think, what do you think, how would you sum it up for the manner in which they should perform the pre-trip inspection?
As routinely, as logically, and as systematically as possible.
Okay, so I shouldn't check the dashboard and then go out and check under the hood and then come back and check the interior lights and then go out and walk around the vehicle.
No, there should be an order and a progression that you go through, which will also help you in maximizing your time usage.
Which is?
7 minutes.
Very good.
Kelly,
yes.
What about, do they need to move the vehicle? Do they need to check any fluids or brakes or cycle the lift at all? Is that part of it?
Not at all. Now, since you only have 7 minutes, the inspection under the hood will be a visual. So you might say, I'm checking the antifreeze, I'm checking the antifreeze overflow, I'm checking the power steering fluid, the brake fluid, the hydraulic fluid, any of these fluids, the oil, you would verbalize it as opposed to actually performing the check. The same goes with the wheelchair lift. If you're inspecting the wheelchair lift, you might say, I'm checking the pump to make sure there's no leaks. I'm checking to make sure the manual arm is on there. Verbalize all that, but you do not need to cycle the lift. So that and if you would like the judge to do anything, you can ask them. And if for instance you want them to step on the brake or turn the turn signal, they will do that for you, but you must ask.
Now, Kelly, how do the drivers get points? What are the different point breakdowns in this obstacle?
The points break down in 5 ways. The first 4, there's, what did we say? 125 points.
125 points, Kelly.
Okay.
150 points.
150 points, Rich.
Yeah.
Okay. So, for 100 of those points, it's the defects. Each defect is worth 25 points. And then for another 25 points, you're doing it in a systematic manner, as you said, organized, systematic manner. That's another 25 points. And the fourth 25 points is
7 minutes.
7 minutes.
Like we said 3 or 4 times now. So those 5 elements.
We can't stress that enough.
So those things, 4 defects, systematic and logical manner, and 7 minutes. That's how you get your 150 points in the pre-trip inspection.
7 minutes.
Yes.
Right.
So Kelly, just to wrap things up, what kind of conduct are we expecting out of the drivers in this section?
Well, this is a professional safety event, and all drivers that are participating are there for a reason. That's to compete. One of the things we stress during this competition is that you keep information to yourself. I know you'd like to help your fellow driver out, but we ask that on the pre-trip inspection, any defects that you find, you keep to yourself until the completion of the competition. What you're doing is you're giving your comrade more clues as to how they can score more points against you by identifying these defects. So,
and even though you might have good intentions, that other driver might think you're trying to mislead them. So
this is true.
We'll do our best to have one of our committee members out there overseeing the pre-trip inspection area just to keep things copacetic and make sure everybody's on their best behavior. So leave that to us. We'll make sure that you don't misbehave yourself.
Sure.
So this wraps up another edition of Rodeo Talk with Kelly and Rich. Stay tuned. In the next coming weeks, we'll have another edition on the wheelchair securement portion. We'll give you more details about the test and some information about the rodeo site and kind of the schedule for the events during the weekend. So until next time, I'm Rich.
I'm Kelly.
And thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you soon.